There are some old players for the Cardinals who are getting some new looks this year in spring, as well as a deep dive into a 30-year-old pitcher who is tearing up spring training right now. And lastly, some new techniques and coaching strategies that the Cardinals are implementing in spring to get us ready for the regular season. Thank you for tuning in to the St. Louis Cardinals Daily podcast. My name is Andrew Toysher. And we've got a lot of changes going on for the Cardinals this offseason, some of it being old players getting shipped out and new players coming in. Our starting lineup's going to look drastically different than what it looked like this time last year. But some of the players who are coming back have a lot of reasons of hope as to why they're going to do better, and it's because some changes have been made. So I want to look at three guys who have some changes coming up here in 2026 who happen to be showcased in the Cardinals' 9-4 win versus the Astros on Thursday. The first one is Ivan Herrera, made his spring debut for the Cardinals against the Astros on Thursday. He played just DH, but he's set to play catcher for the Cardinals on Sunday for the first time this spring, which is huge. We got video of him going out to play outfield and using a first baseman's mitt out there in the outfield to work on his footwork. I'm not ruling out that he moves over to left field, but Herrera's hoping and thinking that this catcher thing is going to work, not just because Yadier Molina is teaching him how to play catcher, but also he's saying his arm feels significantly better than it has in years. You can assign as much credit as you would like to the injury causing him to be a perfect 15 for 15 against stolen bases last year. 15 for 15, that won't play at catcher. That's why he stopped playing catcher, but Herrera seems to blame the injury for that. He didn't completely just say it in that blatant of a fashion, but he's saying this year he's hoping to be a more complete player, and he feels like his arm was holding him back last year. Over the offseason, he had some fragments of bone in his elbow, a bone spur issue that he got cleaned up, and he said it's been plaguing him for years, and at just 25 years old, that sounds really tragic that he's been plagued for that long. But he's hoping that that was the reason why his arm wasn't quite getting the zip and accuracy that he wanted. It was sore every single time he threw and every time he woke up, he said. And he said for the first time in years, he's waking up and his arm isn't sore at all. We just have to hope that he doesn't go lights out in a bad way for us like he did last year, because if he can be a decent fielder for the Cardinals and have an 800 OPS like he did last year, he's instantly one of the best catchers and one of the most valuable players in all of baseball. So it would be incredible for the Cardinals if he can figure it out. I'm a little bit hesitant about that, but let's see what happens, especially on Sunday when he'll be catching for the first time. Another guy to be in a new role and a new spot with a new look is Thomas Saggese. He came in and played not in his first game for the Cardinals, but in his first game in the outfield for the Cardinals. He's been in the infield in a couple games thus far, but he found himself in left field on Thursday, which is great for the Cardinals. We struggled to find an outfield solution, a right-handed bat that we desperately needed in the outfield. And because Saggese and Jose Fermin have some potential versatility to play out there, including potentially center field for Saggese, this opens a lot of doors, including being able to sign the best available player on the market who is a right-handed hitter, Ramon Urias, to a contract which really gives us a lot of diversity and depth on the infield now. So with great options, we have Saggese getting some work in left field, and on Saturday he's going to be playing center field before on Sunday leaving to go play in the World Baseball Classic for Team Italy. So we have holding out our hopes that this will work out for Saggese via Daniel Guerrero of the Post-Dispatch, because this last game was not debuted on television. He said that there was only one ball that went to Saggese in all of the 6 innings he played out there, a double against the wall that he played nicely and got into the infield. He said he's using his experience as a shortstop to know what to do in the outfield. Look for the shortstop. He'll tell you where to throw the ball, and you throw it there no matter what. Don't be a hero, says Saggese, and I'm excited to see him just play fundamental like that. Hopefully he does more of that going forward. And the last guy who debuted something new but is an old face for the Cardinals on Thursday was Matthew Liberatore, brought in his new quote-unquote secret pitch into the game, and it wasn't anything crazy. It turns out the secret pitch is a splitter, which many had speculated to be the case for Matthew Liberatore. And he debuted it in a game that was very solid for him. 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 run, 3 strikeouts on 51 pitches, and 4 of those pitches were a splitter. I'm so happy to see starters actually going more than 2 innings, starting to lengthen this out. Spring training will eventually get very old if we're just constantly seeing guys go a couple of innings. I want to see these guys with a little bit more work, maybe seeing dudes through the rotation more than one time in the lineup. So we love to see that, and we love to see the success that he had in this game. It was the third inning where he ended up giving up that only run he secured, and he's been phenomenal throughout spring to this point. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, a walk, only 1 run surrendered, and 7 strikeouts, again, through 5 innings. We love to see this for Liberatore. It's spring. Take it with a grain of salt. But he is pitching against starters, and he has looked phenomenal. He said he's really excited about this splitter to help him get righties out. He said he loves the movement on it right now. He just needs to get used to locating that pitch. We're hoping for the best for the Cardinals, and we're hoping for the best for you as fans of the St. Louis Cardinals Daily Podcast, and that's why we are bringing to you Mars Men as a partner for the page. At some point, life gets all of us gentlemen. You have testosterone. You need to access it in order to have the energy and the stamina you need to get through your day. See, there's this thing called SHBG. It's a gatekeeper for the testosterone you already have, and Mars Men acts as a negotiator to get some of that tea you already have in a natural way so you can have that energy and stamina and that testosterone level that you are wanting. Blast off with Mars Men. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life plus free shipping and 3 gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Let them know the page sent you, Kurt. Going on, the Cardinals have a relief pitcher, 30 years old, never pitched in the major leagues, but he is tearing up spring training, and it's worth noting because he's fresh off of tearing up the minor leagues as soon as he came over to the Cardinals. Garrison Moreno, right-handed relief pitcher for the Cardinals, again, 30 years old, has over 400 plate appearances against, has not found himself in the majors yet. But last year, when he brought him over, signed him to a minor league contract off of the A's squad. He had a 1.23 ERA through 14 games. The Cardinals said, shoot, throw him. He's a 30-year-old. Throw him an invite to spring. It worked out last time. And now through spring, he has pitched in 2 innings of relief for 5 strikeouts. He's only not struck out 1 guy in one of the outs that he surrendered. He's got 6 outs, 5 strikeouts through that. Only 1 hit given up. No walks, no runs. Moreno is tearing it up. Who is Garrison Moreno other than some 30-year-old? Well, he's got a fine pitch mix of a 93.8 average mile-per-hour sinker. That's his main pitch. And he has a splitter and slider combo for the Cardinals. A 30-year-old, it's hard to get too excited over, and we'll save him the spot as long as he would like it. And if he's good, because we need people to fill in our bullpen. There are tons of openings for the Cardinals bullpen. We were hoping a lefty would maybe pop up more, but a right-hander like Moreno, throw him in there. Let's see what happens. Again, just on a minor league contract, he's guaranteed nothing. He costs us very little. And if he has a decent time, we already have a long history of the Cardinals taking relievers, developing them, making them worthwhile, and flipping them at the deadline. I'm hoping that's exactly what happens here with Garrison Moreno. But excited for him and hoping he can contribute to the Cardinals ball club for as long as we have him. And if he's here in the future, great. And if we flip him for prospects, I think that's probably best case scenario. Speaking of best case scenario, let's talk about Ultra. Ultra pouches are a great solution for those who are looking for that stimulant fix, but they don't want to use their Adderall, nicotine, or caffeine anymore. These pouches have none of that, and they don't give you that cortisol spike that makes your forehead feel like it's going to explode. Ultra is the ultimate guilt-free pouch, delivering instant focus and mental clarity without nicotine or caffeine. New customers can use code FANARCH, as you see right there below, and get 15% off at takeultra.com. That's takeultra.com for 15% off. Code FANARCH. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please show support and let them know that we sent you. Speaking of support, the Cardinals are getting tons of support from their new coaching staff in this spring. Shocker, when you double your coaching staff size to being what it should be in Major League Baseball, things start to turn out much better for you. And the Cardinals are getting tons and tons of work right now with that new staff, again, doubled in size, and they're trading spring like a regular season game, which seems kind of weird and funky, but it's for the best for the Cardinals, as Derek Gould explains in his article. In the second game for the Cardinals, he notes that Victor Scott II weirdly laid down a bunt. In the second game, one of the first at-bats Victor Scott had in the third inning to move a runner over, he laid down a bunt. It's spring training, buddy. Swing for the fences. Do something to show why you should be on the opening day roster. Well, Brent Brown and the rest of the coaching staff said this is exactly what they want Victor Scott doing, and this is what Victor Scott said he wants to be doing. Brent Brown has come out and said that spring training is not just about swinging for the fences. He said, quote, "You should be getting your execution off." Because of the new expanded staff, the Cardinals coaches have been, in their flurry of iPads, been taking these statistics and all the scouting that they've been doing beforehand and preparing the hitters like it's a regular season, postseason game borderline, getting them ready with all the statistics that they need to approach the at-bat. And this is phenomenal for the Cardinals. I don't understand why you would practice the way you're not going to play. And the reason we had to is we didn't have the coaches and the bandwidth to do it, but now we can actually get guys ready for the regular season. As Alec Burleson explains, you get a lot of information from this, and sometimes it can get confusing. He said, quote, "When you look at some of the charts for the first time, they can be confusing, or it's a lot." And end quote there, he mentions that there's a ton of young guys on the team this year who probably have never seen this before in such depth and aren't ready to be having a million things running through their mind. Burleson said it helps him a ton, and he knows his stuff like the back of his hand at this point. But when he first came up, he wasn't so prepared for this. And so if we're going to have a bunch of minor leaguers coming up and contributing very quickly, we need to use spring training to help them get ready and used to this sort of preparation. Everyone's going to contribute at some point this year. Guys need to be detail-oriented, and that's exactly what the Cardinals have been focusing on all offseason. Chaim Bloom keeps saying the Cardinals need to get better on the margins. That's what used to make us so great. We'd always be phenomenal on the base paths, have great approaches, move guys over, small ball. Brent Brown specifically pointed out that we don't have a ton of power on the team, so if we're going to do great, it's going to have to be, quote, death by 1,000 paper cuts. So hopefully that's what the Cardinals can do going forward because, yeah, the highest projected home run total for us, I think right now, is Nolan Gorman at 24. We have to be able to get consistent hits with good approaches from every player, or else it's going to be a rough season. It probably will be anyway. But even going forward, that's the best way to take this approach. And actually having the resources to do this is phenomenal and kind of ridiculous that we didn't do it beforehand. So I'm glad we have it now. This new Chaim Bloom area is going to be about details and winning on the margins, and I'm excited for it. And that immediately paid off for the Cardinals over these last couple of games, putting up tons of runs, including this last game where they won 9-4 against the Astros on Thursday. And they had 4 home runs hit in that game, quite possibly because they were actually preparing for it, and guys are finally getting settled in. I was going to come into this podcast talking about the struggling hitting for the Cardinals thus far, but after a couple of solid games for the Cardinals, things are looking good. 4 home runs in that game on Thursday, 1 from Pozo in the 4th inning. Alec Burleson had a huge bomb, multi-run home run in the 5th. Jimmy Crooks had a home run in the 7th, a guy that many are excited to see and could be making the big league roster if he can show enough in spring training. And lastly, something named John Gazdar in the 8th inning went 2 for 2 and had that 8th inning home run that looked really good for the Cardinals. And just the day before that, Nolan Gorman stood out, going 1 for 3, hitting a 3-run bomb for the Cardinals. And if you wouldn't believe it, Gorman, one of the best hitters for the Cardinals so far in spring training. He's 2 for 7 in total with that home run. And most importantly, you're not going to believe this. Sit down for this news. He has only 1 strikeout through 7 at-bats. I know it's such a small sample size, but it's Nolan Gorman, and I don't care if I wouldn't be bothered if he didn't hit a home run all spring if you told me that he was working on his strikeouts. Please, please, please. If Nolan Gorman, and Jordan Walker's way improved on his strikeouts as well, if these new approaches can actually prevent them from striking out, I'm convinced both players can be something real for the team going forward because both guys can send balls to the moon if they actually make contact. And striking out, you don't make much contact. Thank you guys for tuning into the St. Louis Cardinals Daily Podcast. Make sure you guys get in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this new strategy. How ridiculous is it that we weren't actually implementing any of this before this year? What do you think of the new looks for guys like Thomas Saggese and that new splitter for Matthew Liberatore? Do you think it's actually going to give us the edge that we need? And go look at some Moreno film. It's been pretty good for the Cardinals. Dive into that. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to keep covering your Redbirds every single day. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And don't forget to tell a loved one, go Birds.